Hello. So Cinderella is done! Woo! Yes, thank you for the applause. Thank you. Okay. So, after 5 long months, we have finally finished the transformation gown. Took a little bit longer towards the end just because as soon as school started, life got real weird. But we are finally done and we can talk about our final review on the final installment of Cinderella. So let's go into it. So when we last left off, I was working on a way to make the pouch a little bit less bulky. We'll get into better ways later, but what I did was make the waistband smaller with some elastic, and I added the trim, but as tags, so it would hold the bag up a little bit more and kind of like squish it around to make it like tufted in a way, and that was the plan. Well, again, we'll talk about it more later, right? So talking about the photo shoot, we went out to a trail, me and 2 friends, and just did our best. So instead of just going in the ball gown, since I had to drive, I went ahead and wore just stage apparel, but not really because I was wearing nude, but wearing nude and black leggings, and just in case it peeked through the costume, you wouldn't see it, and then just changed there. So just have that as an undergarment, then you can change between the 2 costumes relatively quickly. We are going to turn this face into a face ready for a ball gown. And we're done. There's my face. I did my best. And so all I did was just throw my hair into a bun and have a swoop. I may have it be down as a bank later, who knows. I tried to put false lashes on. Didn't work. I'm not good at them. I've only wore them once during prom. I have some in glue and I've been attempting, but today's not the day for me, so. Now I'm gonna go pack up my dress and the transforming dress and some extra stuff, and we're gonna go head out to the woods. Not by myself, of course, so that's next. Okay, all right, so I'm freezing, but we are now in a park trail behind a lake, and I'm gonna go ahead and start getting dressed. Woo! All right. Putting on the ball gown was very simple. It was very self-explanatory. We didn't have any problems. The ball gown was a very obedient child. It transforms. It transforms. It does what I wanted it to do. And honestly, it looked really good in slow-mo transforming. I'm very happy with it. Definitely, I would want to change certain aspects about it. Also change my performance on it. It is hard to spin and make sure everything's coming down, but I think I did a pretty good job. And it turned out pretty magical. I'm not mad at it. So we did the main objective. It transforms. And after we got that shot done, we went ahead and just took pictures with each individual garment. With Cinderella, we just emulated what she would be doing more or less in the woods, which is before or after the ball. So just have her running around, taking pictures. I had 2 people there to help me just learn how to look into the camera and actually where to tilt my face, because I can't do that completely by myself just yet. So after we got through that, we had a little bit of fun with some videos and such, and then we switched on to the maid costume. Maid costume by itself works so much better to put on. However, the pictures felt weird only because having Cinderella in a maid costume in the woods made her feel like she was running away more than her being like hopeful or wishing for a fairy godmother or really making sense to any story that I've ever consumed of Cinderella in the media. So felt awkward, so I ended up taking some pictures just in my apartment by the window by myself, hence the rush. But I liked it. I did like the maid costume by itself a little bit more. Talking on the individual garments, Cinderella's ball gown I'm pretty proud of, besides the fact that I spent a lot of time making that skirt, from sewing along a sewing machine until I couldn't fit it under anymore to hand sewing each layer. It held up and it spun beautifully. That's the main point. And it wasn't too heavy. I would say the whole gown was about 5 pounds in total, and it fit well. The corset, after you make a V instead of a straight line, like what I did in the first draft of the bodice, was very comfortable, as much as comfortable can be for a corset. You are supposed to be cinched in a little bit, and it didn't feel like it was slipping down or anything. I didn't feel like I had to adjust it. It was a nice thing to work with. The maid costume, because in its nature it's built to fall apart, was a little bit hard to take pictures in, just because if you step on the skirt one way, you're gonna rip the top off, hence why you should be wearing an undershirt. And the skirt was a little low for me, so at certain points when we're trying to take pictures, again in the weird position of the woods, I almost tripped. So just be a little bit careful with that, and be a little delicate with the detachable part of it all. What went well? I already said this once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Cinderella's ball gown went well. I liked the skirt the most out of it. It held up. When sticks and leaves attached to it, they took it with stride and didn't rip or pull any of my hand sewn layers off. So we give them an A+. The bodice, the attachment from the waist to the skirt of the ball gown could have been a little bit sharper, but at the end of the day, I was relatively happy with it. And now let's talk about what we can fix, which we all know is the pouch. It's the pouch. My initial thought when I was trying to fix the pouch was to emulate a vacuum sealed bag, because that's how I sealed Cinderella when I was moving around. So the idea was to make a donut where you have like a waistband and then you have outside, and just have like a little Ziploc area where you can stuff the skirt in, seal it up, vacuum seal it, and then when you transform, you rip it out and it's gonna inflate. So theoretically, it's plausible, but it requires a lot more work than what I had. So in my initial practice runs, I took a Ziploc bag and a garbage bag, took a piece of aluminum foil, ironed it together so you're melting plastic along the lines, and it would vacuum seal in its new shape, The only main issue is that the garbage bag's a little too thin, and my skill of fusing plastic is way too low, so I couldn't get it together in time to fully do what I was envisioning. Will I attempt this again with the vacuum seal? Yes, because if I figure it out, that's super cool and I want to tell everyone. But at the time being, I went ahead and scrapped it and said, let's just keep going on with the pouch. So the second thing I did was adding more straps, so having straps in between the skirt and the pouch, and then you pull it up, it pushes the thing closer, and then you pin it into the bodice. That made it a little bit better. You can see in the front, it looks a little bit better than the back. However, when you have that much space, no matter how tight you roll it, unless you're holding it where you roll it right there, it's gonna expand a little bit. So I would say if you're not gonna suffer through a vacuum sealed version, is either to make the skirt thinner or to make your maid costume larger. Because if you make the maid costume larger, you don't need as much of the ball gown, because once it's laying on top of that, it's bigger. Or just wearing a petticoat under all of it. That would also work. Hence, initial design was just like throw a tarp over it basically, and it's the same effect. So that's the only thing. But I'm determined to one day figure out the whimsy of making a huge skirt, but a skinny dress. And I believe in myself. I feel like it's real. That is the end of the Cinderella 2020 Summer Project Series. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to see more videos. Please check out the other videos that are hopefully floating around here. Like and comment, and I'll see you later.